Mikadashei Shevi Shabbat Kula Yisbe'o Vayit Angu Mitu Vecha Shabbat Ismechu B'malechutecha Shomre Shabbat V'korei Oneg Shabbat Yismechu B'malechutecha Shomre Shabbat V'korei Oneg Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. Bruchim, haba'im. Welcome. You've tuned in, or you're sitting here, Temple Beth David in Snellville, Georgia. We're about 20 miles east. We are 20 miles east of Atlanta. We are proud members of the Union of Reformed Judaism, and we're delighted you could be here with us tonight. So, is there something I need to know? You look. Okay, so we're going to rewire Frank so that you don't just hear bits and pieces of him playing the guitar. You'll hear the whole thing. All right, so with that, I am Barry Nicholsberg, and I am the cantorial soloist here at Temple Beth David. To my far left, Frank Monteleone, who has been here longer than I have. And we're not accustomed to just the two of us playing. And so Daniel Bordeaux, who was with us last week on the guitar for one song, is now with us here. And he is a percussionist, and I think you will enjoy that very, very much. I would like to thank Denise Whitlock at the back table. She is our streaming specialist. If you're watching us via YouTube or StreamSpot, it's because Denise helped make that happen. Sitting next to her, watching the chats come in, that's my wife, Jeannie Nicholsberg. If you have something you would like to add to this evening's service, perhaps a name for Misha Berach or names for the Mourner's Kaddish, you'll type them in and Jeannie will read them aloud. And with that, I have a few questions to ask you, and we'll get right into the service itself. So where were you last Shabbat? Where were you physically and spiritually? Were you rushed, or did you savor the coming of Shabbat? What's happened in the past 6 days? They go so quickly, we never take notice. They just zoom right on by. What kind of person were you this week? Were you thoughtful? Were you superficial? Were you preoccupied? Were you appreciative? Did you laugh? Did you cry? Did you tell anyone how much you love him or her? Did you use your week well? And what does that even mean? What lessons will you take into the future? Let's try this. As we enter Shabbat, let's release the past week, its joys and its sorrows. Let's free ourselves of any misgivings or guilt. We are ready to look for new happiness and bring the best of ourselves to new experiences in the week to come. With that, I'm going to ask our president, Judy Kern, who I forgot to mention earlier because she wasn't back there. She's up here. Judy, as I say every week, keeps the trains running on time. I think she does more than that, like pretty much everything. Anyway, if you would like to join us, follow along, she will be on pages 120 and 121 as she lights the Shabbat candles.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu, lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. If you are just tuning in or watching this sometime in the future, how would you know what date it is unless I told you? And today is the 30th of December in the year 2022, and it happens to be the 6th of Tevet on the Hebrew calendar, and that year is 5783. I'm asking you, please turn to page 138. We are going to sing Lecha Dodi. It is our tradition here at Temple Beth David. We sing the 1st, 5th, and 9th verses. On the 9th verse, I invite you to rise and turn to the door in which you came into the room as we greet the Sabbath bride. Page 138, Lecha Dodi. Lecha, Lecha Dodi, Likrat, Likrat, Kala, Pene, Pene, Shabbat, Nikabela. Lecha, Lecha Dodi, Likrat, Likrat, Kala, Pene, Pene, Shabbat, Nikabela, la, 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 Lecha Dodi, Likrat, Likrat, Kala, Pene, Pene, Shabbat, Nikabela. Lecha, Lecha Dodi, Likrat, Likrat, Kala, Pene, Pene, Shabbat, Nikabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, Hishme'anu el hamnuchad, Adonai echad, U'shemo echad. L'shem la 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 l'echad, Likrat likrat kala, Pene pene Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, Likrat likrat kala, Pene pene Shabbat nikabela. Toreri, toreri, Ma'orech kumiuri, uri, uri, shidaberi, Kibot Adonai alayhi, la 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 lecha dodi, Likrat likrat kala, Pene pene Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, Likrat likrat kala, Pene pene Shabbat nikabela. Please rise, face the door you came into the room, rise physically and or spiritually. Bo'i v'shalom ha'teret bala, gam besimchat sola, toch emonei am sigula, bohi chala, la 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 lecha dodi, Likrat likrat kala, Pene pene Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, Likrat likrat kala, Pene pene Shabbat nikabela. La 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 lecha dodi, Likrat likrat kala, Pene pene Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, Likrat likrat kala, Pene pene Shabbat nikabela. Please be seated. I'm about to chant the Reader's Kaddish, Chatzi Kaddish, on page 144. You are, as always, welcome to join. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah Bi'alma divrach hirutei v'yamliuch malchutei בחייכם ימיכם ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבו מבורך לעלם ולעולמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי דקודשא ברכו לעילם עם כל ברכתה ושיר עתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ויאמרו Amen. I will ask you please to turn to page 146 and rise for the Baruch, the call to worship. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai hamivorach Baruch Adonai hamivorach le'olam va'ed hamivorach le'olam va'ed. Would you stay standing, turn to page 152. We'll chant the Shema, and then we'll go back and have a couple of quick English readings. Page 152, the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivo Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kivo Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Please be seated. Would you turn to page 148? Read with me at the bottom, starting with Blessed are you. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzavot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Amariv, Aravim. Bottom of page 150, please join me, starting with everlasting love. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws, and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life. Doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. If you would, please turn to page 154. I'm about to chant the V'ahavta, which has musical notes that you don't find anywhere else in this service. This piece, the V'ahavta, comes straight from the Torah, and the cantation that is noted in the Torah is the same one we're using that they used thousands of years ago. It is how, as a people, we survive, by passing what we know down to the next generation and the generation after that. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol miodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibartar bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'leftecha v'derech uv'shovtecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu lo tatafot ben einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'hisharecha L'ma'an tiskaru ve'asitem et kel mitzvotai v'yetem kedoshim leloechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeichem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. Would you turn to page 158? I invite you to read along with me, starting at the bottom of the page with, who is like you? Who is like you, O God, among the gods that are worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders? Your children witnessed your sovereignty, the sea splitting before Moses and Miriam. This is our God, they cried. Adonai will reign forever and ever. Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Also on page 158, you will find the song, Mi Chamocha. Well, you'll find the words for it anyway, and I hope you will join me in singing it. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh, Torah tehilot oseh feleh, Torah tehilot oseh feleh. Malechut tivara uvanecha, bokei ayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam, ze'elianu v'yamru, ze'elianu v'yamru, Adonai Enoch le'olam va'ed, Adonai Enoch le'olam va'ed. Adonai, mi kamocha nedavar kodesh, nora tehilot osei feleh, nora tehilot osei feleh. On page 160, you will find, as I say every week, my favorite lullaby. I should come clean with you. It's my only lullaby. With that, Hashkivein. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chayim. Aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, Adonai, keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Andrew St. Clair was our percussionist. That's his djembe. Andrew hasn't been able to be with us for some time. And when Daniel said that he plays drums, I said, I called Andrew. I asked him. He said, sure, no problem. And tonight, for the first time in more than 2 years, we happily have the djembe back with us. And I will tell you that the combination of you and Frank is great. And I can hardly wait for Heather and Jim Murray to return, and ultimately for Bobby Horowitz to return. And we will really be able to rock the house. That said, if any of you would like to join our merry little band, please let me know. There is always room for one more. With that, I would ask you to turn to page 164 and rise for the tefillah. Ha-na-na-na-na-na-na Adonai, ha-na-na-na-na-na-na Sabtaitach, ha-na-na-na-na-na-na Ufi-yagi, Ufi-yagi Tahilatecha, ha-na-na-na-na-na-na Adonai, ha-na-na-na-na-na Sabtaitach, ha-na-na-na-na-na Ufi-yagi, Ufi-yagi Tahilatecha, ha-na-na-na-na-na-na Adonai, ha-na-na-na-na-na Sabtaitach, ha-na-na-na-na-na Ufi-yagi, Ufi-yagi Tahilatecha. Page 166. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Elohei Zilpa, Elohei Bilha, Elohei Tamar, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El וגומר חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכה חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומגולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו ביהבה, מלך עוזר ומשיח ומגן. ברוך אתה, אדוני, מגן אברהם ויצרת שרה. Page 168. אתה גיבור לעולם, אדוני, מחיי הקל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומף נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיע מתשועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה, אדוני, מחיי הכל. Page 170. אתה קדוש, ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך, סלה. ברוך אתה, אדוני, האל הקדוש. Please be seated. Page 181. Please join me. Middle of the page, we reach for you. We reach for you, our God, from the quiet places. May we stand still for a brief moment and listen to the rain. Stand still for a brief moment and watch the play of sunlight and shadows on the leaves. For a brief moment, listen to the world. Let us stop the wheels of every day to be aware of Shabbat. Find the stillness of the sanctuary which the soul cherished. Renew the covenant of an ancient people. We need a quiet space to test the balance of our days, the weight of our own deeds against the heaviness of the world's demands. The balance is precarious. Steady us with fate. Quiet places in stillness where we will hear our own best impulses speak. Quiet places in stillness from which we will reach out to each other. We will find strength in silence. And with this strength, we will turn again to your service. Please join me in praying silently. With Bobby and Heather and Jim not here this evening, I can't come out of this singing Etz Chaim He, because it really doesn't work with one voice. So just pretend I'm singing it and we're going to go on. Would you turn to page 371? It would be that time when, if you've got names to be remembered for the Mishaberach, the prayer for healing the body and soul, and you are online, go ahead and type those names in so Jeannie will know what they are. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, Leah, Zilpah, Bilhah, and Tamar, bless and heal those who are ill. May the blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and for their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, Amen. If you have names to be remembered, Malcolm, do you have anyone you'd like to remember for that? Okay. And Frank.
Connie Spinelli, Bill and Jasmine Milligan, Nicole Gravante, Catherine Seidel, Jim Wade, and Rabbi Fred Natkin.
Thank you.
Hayden Chastain and Eliana Chastain.
Thank you. I'm going to add Leslie Karsten and all the people who have been so devastatedly affected by this last storm. It was a humdinger, and while they continue to dig out from that horror, I want the people of Buffalo and the surrounding area to know that our hearts and thoughts and prayers are with them as well. Jeannie, you have names to add.
I do. Linda Ehrenstaff, Marcy Schulman, Nina Schulman, Joe Wagner, Sherry Silver, Barbara Frank, Lois and Alan Sorkin, Yvonne Thomas, Louise Lyon.
I'll add Wendy Fine and Barbara Freed to that. Thank you. And we hope you are all back with us soon. And we have other names.
Linda and Stephen Ely, Allison Slaughter, Rebecca Goodman, Robert Whitlock, Thule Vittner.
Okay. Page 371. Please join me in singing Misha Berach. Misha Berach Avoteinu Mikor HaBrecha Leimoteinu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imoteinu Mikor HaBrecha Yavoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. All right. I'm just getting my thoughts together. You know, for those who have been here following me from time to time for the past 9 years, you know that I have said repeatedly that there is no such thing as coincidence, and there isn't. I don't believe there is anyway. The Parsha for the week talks to me from a different place this week. I got a phone call from my sister wondering if I was going to go to my nephew's wedding in October. And I said, of course I will be there. Why wouldn't I be there? And she said, well, there's another member of the family who will be there. I said, it's not going to stop me from going. And then I heard on the radio, somebody came up with this, I don't know who or how, but it seemed unfortunately reasonable, that over Thanksgiving and the holidays, It's hard for us to spend more than 4 hours with family members. Obviously, that's not for everyone. But it does relate to this week's Parsha. This is the Parsha where Joseph's brothers come to him. And they don't recognize him. He knows who they are, but they have no idea who he is. And they're asking for food. They are starving. We are in that period of the 7 years where there was a drought and a famine. And Joseph realized that this very moment was the dream he relayed to his brothers. My staff stands upright and tall, and yours bow to mine. And with that, they threw him in a pit and sold him. And here it is coming true. So how does he respond to that? I mean, these are the people who threw him in a pit. So he asks, he says, do you have any other brothers? They said, well, yes. Benjamin. He was the baby who Jacob tried to heal his heart through Benjamin. But his heart was still broken because Joseph was a life force for him. Joseph doesn't know if his brothers have changed. He hasn't seen them in 20, 25, 30 years. He has no idea if they are the same people or have they grown? Have they evolved? Have they developed? And so he tests them. He says, go home, bring your brother here. And as Benjamin returns with those brothers, Joseph plants a goblet in his pack. As he plans to leave, Joseph stops them cold and says, there's a thief in our midst. Now he knows, of course, he set up Benjamin. But this was the test. He said, Benjamin, you're going to jail immediately. And his brothers say, please, please, take me instead. We don't know what he did, but take me instead. Because they knew that if they return home and say, Benjamin too has now been taken from our family, that Jacob, now known as Israel, will die right away. No question. When more than one of the brothers said, they start arguing, please, pick me. No, pick me. I will go to prison. I will suffer a death penalty if need be. Don't do this to Benjamin. Joseph can stand it no more. His heart is so full of joy. He dismisses everyone in the room except the 11 brothers. And he says, hi, I'm actually Joseph, your brother. And they think this is impossible, that they just can't imagine it. And Joseph comes down from on high, and he's crying, and he's embracing his brothers, who realize that he really is Joseph. And Joseph has one question: is our father still alive? First thing that comes out of his mouth is, our father still alive? And they say yes. And so he gives them all kinds of food and whatever they need. And they return as a family. And Joseph is able to be held in Jacob's arms one last time, at which time he dies. But he died happy because he knew his son was not dead. What do we do with this? What do we do with this today? Do we test our friends and relatives with whom we've distanced ourselves from? Is it unethical to ask someone to prove him or herself so you know whether or not that person has changed enough for you to not only forgive but to embrace? We shouldn't put ourselves at risk of being hurt. We've already been hurt. But at the same time, we shouldn't take an adversarial approach. There's no coincidence here. If we trust, and that trust is once again thrown in our faces, it could do a lot more harm than good. But it's also unfair to assume that our person, family, friends, whatever, have changed. We don't know. Life and experience shape us just as they did Joseph's brothers. Just as happens to us. Look back on your lives, whether that's 10 years or 100 years, and really think about how you have changed. Fundamentally, your heart has changed. Can we let the pain go? Even if we're justified for not wanting to let the pain go, we might still be able to figure out how to do it. We may be able to heal family tears. And I say family could be friend tears. I had a very good friend through high school and college, graduate school, on and on and on. It was the two of us, we were buds. And I wanted him to be godfather to I didn't know if we were going to have a son or a daughter, but we were going to find out in about a month's time. And I turned to him and I said, I really want you to be my child's godfather, but I need to know that you will set a good example in your life. And we both know that you've been dealing drugs a lot. So it's got to stop. You can take this road or that road. He chose that road. We haven't spoken since. If I saw him today, how would I respond? I don't know. But I play it over in my head because it was 36 years ago. So as we gather with family, the new year coming right here now, tomorrow night is New Year's. However complicated the dynamics, may we have the patience to act with restraint. May we have the self-knowledge to recognize and guard against acting in old patterns or seeing people in old ways. Oh yeah, sorry, but I knew you 35, 36 years. That's who you were. I can't stand you now either. Above all, may we be able to focus on being together with the family that we do want to see, instead of fixating on any that we might rather avoid. You're surrounded by people who you love and love you, and there's one person who isn't in that group. Don't fixate on that one. Fixate on the group. I want to wish you a very happy and healthy 2023. If you're on the road tomorrow night, be extra careful. Shabbat Shalom. Okay. Would you please turn to page 586 and rise for the Aleinu. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol latet gedula leotze breshi shelo asanu kigoye haratzo velo samanu kemishbechot hadama shelo sam chelakenu kahem Vigor aleinu kechol hamamuna Vanachnu korim Umishachavim umodim Lifnei melech Malchei hamelachim HaKadosh Barechu She'umnot hashamayim v'yoseh haaretz U'moshav yakarov b'shamayim ima'al U'shina uzo B'kohei meromim U'Eloheinu eino Emet malkeinu evet zulato Ka'katuv b'torato V'adata yom v'hashivota elevavecha Ki Adonai hu Elohim b'shamayim imal V'al ha'aretz mitachat eino. Page 588. For you spread out the heavens and establish the earth. Your majestic abode is in the heavens above, and your mighty presence is in the loftiest heights. You are our God, and there is none else. In truth, you are our sovereign without compare, as is written in your Torah. Know then this day, and take it to heart, that Adonai is surely God in the heavens above, and on the earth below. There is none else. Page 591. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lamelech ala kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad O Shemo O Shemo Echad. Please be seated. Page 599. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us. those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. Of them all we say, Zichronam Livracha. May their memories always, always be for a blessing. If we are in a period of Shiva, the first 7 days, since someone passing, you have a name you'd like to add?
Nick Spinelli,
Sorry. He's been on the Mishaberach list a long time.
Christmas.
Can't hear you. I'm sorry, Judy. I know that we're in a period of Shloshim for Vern Hartvickson and Paula Terry, the first 30 days since someone's passing. Do we have any others for whom we are in period of Shloshim? I'm about to get a note. Thank you. We are a period of Shiva for Mark Commissaro, and we are in Shloshim for Curtis Young, Dave Bogart, and Roland Jolan. Are there any other names? We remember those who have passed that were part of our family or extended family. Daniel Roach, Nicholas Collins, Ed Gallup, Frank Perrone, Barbara Babbitt, Eugene Schmuckler, John McPeak, Dennis Clausen, Ellie Freed. Also, Herbert Rose, Richard Hoffman, and Eddie Ginsberg. Are there any other names you should add tonight? I ask you please to rise as a congregation of one, as together we recite the Mourner's Kaddish, found on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divrach yirutei v'yamliuch malchutei, b'chayachon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'almei olmaya. Yitborach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithalev v'yithalal shemed kudsha barichu le'elam im kol b'chata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata damiran bi'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imroma uyaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who makes harmony on high bring peace to us and all Israel, and let us say, Amen. Please be seated. It's time for announcements. Jeannie, do you have any?
In keeping with current CDC guidelines, TBD has gone mask optional for those who are fully vaccinated. Masks are still required for anyone not fully vaccinated. If you are at high risk of getting sick, CDC recommends that you wear a high-quality mask when indoors in public. Please consider joining us in the sanctuary to worship as a community. Please continue to read your TBD emails for announcements and event details.
Thank you. I would like to remember having birthdays coming right up. Anya Safrit. I remember her when she was Anya Weiss and she was a little girl. So I guess I have been here for a while. Anya's now married, and her birthday is coming up in just a couple days. Barbara Freed's birthday is tomorrow. So I hope you will reach out. I do hope she is feeling better and better with each passing day. Lewis Walls, who has grown at least a foot in the time I've known him, has a birthday in a few days. And Deirdre Walker Howard, one of the best photographers I've ever known, is going to be celebrating a birthday next week as well. Are there any other announcements? I want to thank Frank Monteleone again, Daniel Bordeaux. It was just a pleasure, gentlemen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I believe we will be back here on this very bema next Friday night. Would you please rise? The priestly blessing. Yivarechecha. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmarecha. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai pnav elecha v'chonecha. May the Lord's face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai pnav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May the Lord's face turn toward you and grant you peace. V'yasem lecha shalom. I wish you a Shabbat Shalom, a happy and healthy new year. We will see you again. Shabbat Shalom.